Today I want to talk about nonverbal communications and the importance of it. David Matsumoto, a PhD renewal expert in the field of facial expression, gesture, nonverbal behavior, emotion, and culture, says that 93% of all our communication is nonverbal. This means that only 7% we think, we feel, are the things that we say. All the other ones that we try to give a message or the things that we feel, we also show them, but 93% of it, it's with no speaking. There are several types of ways that we do nonverbal communication, and I want to explain that and the importance of us knowing how to read them and how to acknowledge them and know them to have a better communication with others. The very first type of nonverbal communication is facial expressions. This David Matsumoto talks about how are the same around the world. Everyone expresses the same facial expressions and with the same feelings. For example, if we're sad, we always make a happy face, and this happy face is like that around the world. Everyone does that same happy face. We always do the same sad face, and everyone, it's pretty a worldwide expression. So it's easy to understand it and know it because it's everyone does that same thing. The other thing that he explains is the second type of a type of our nonverbal communication, and is the gestures. This gesture is the way that we speak with, the way we signal, for example, or the way we use our hands to talk. There's so many people like me, for example, that we use our hands to talk a lot and explain things a lot, and this is one type, and it's a nonverbal communication, and it's to project our message better so people can understand it. The third type, it's body language, and this is really important because David Matsumoto also said that body language may account for between 60 to 65% of all their communication. Body language is important because it's our posture, how we sit, how we stand, how we walk. It says a lot about us that we might not even think that it was important or relevant, but we do it unconsciously because we all try to give a message unconsciously. Another important one is the fourth one, and it's haptics. And this one, it's not very known and not many people understand it, but it's the way we touch people, or the way we just so the way we just touch. For example, that this is why it's really important to know when to kiss and who to hug, because some people might take it wrong, but some people might take it really well. It just depends on who you are, and depends on how you're trying to express that feeling or message that you want to give. Another important one is artifacts, and this is not very common for a lot of people, but it is important to know that it's also another way that we communicate. Artifact means it refers to the way that we communicate a subject through an object. So if we use a bottle, if we use something around us that will help us communicate. It's also with a pen. If we're clicking all the time a pen, that means that we're trying to give a feeling, that we're trying to create or communicate a feeling without saying any words. Paralinguistics are essential to understand them, especially understand them in different scenarios, because paralinguistics means and refers to the way we speak. So when we raised our voice, when we say things differently, this is a paralinguistic type of nonverbal communication, and I feel like this is pretty common when we are trying to say something sarcastic. We always have our sarcastic voice. Everyone has one, and when we are trying to say something very sarcastic, instead of saying something different or saying the absolute opposite that we're trying to say, we say with a tone or a tone and specific type of voice, so people can understand that we're being sarcastic. So this is actually a paralinguistic way to express what we are trying to say. Another very important one is the eighth one, and it's eye gaze. And this is how we see people, or how we avoid eye contact, or how we're trying to get attention with our eye contact. Eye contact and the way that we use our eyes, it's really important. I see that a lot in teenagers. They always, whenever they don't feel like they don't agree, instead of saying that they don't agree, they roll their eyes, because that's what they're trying to say. They don't agree, but without words. This is like a pretty basic example, but it's really important because they're trying to say something too. Another very common that many people will not be in okay, but this is what David Matsumoto has told, and it says the appearance, it's another type of a nonverbal communication. This is why I think our prophets have been really careful in the book of the strength of the youth that the prophets have been giving us. There's a section named appearance, and this is how the prophet and the apostles are trying to show us how we supposed to dress ourselves and how we're supposed to look. Because appearance refers that we are trying to give a message by the way we look, how we dress, our hairstyle, even the colors that we pick to wear, share to the public a message. Whether we like it or not, appearance are really important in our society, and we need to be very careful with that. David Matsumoto explains a lot about specific things about that, but I think I believe this is important for all of us to understand that there's a lot of types of different nonverbal communication, and we need to understand them to be able to communicate with others more. A lot of my personal problems had been because of miscommunication that I've been having with some other people, and I feel like if I understand them and I understand why are that way, I can be better. I can comprehend what they're trying to say, and if I understand these types of nonverbal communication, I would understand how they actually feel about the certain message that I'm trying to